Greetings, Earthlings! Today we're going to find out what all the hype is about this brand new microphone. So today we're reviewing this guy, the TechZone audio product Stellar X2. Really catchy name, guys. If you are interested in this microphone, it will cost you around $200. Like always, I'll throw some links down below. And for this review, I have the microphone connected directly to my Focusrite 18i20 2nd Gen with the gain set just at around 1130. I will not do any kind of post-processing, but I may boost the audio in post, so check the doobly-doo to see what I diddly did. Now let's talk about what comes in the box. First off, you will get this hard shell flight case. Of course, you'll get the microphone, a shock mount, a 5/8 to 3/8 inch microphone stand adapter, a foam windscreen, a carrying pouch, and documentation including a QA checklist. Then as far as the build quality, it feels alright for $200. I'm fairly certain that the body of this thing is the exact same as the NW700 and NW800, but it does have a metal body as well as a metal grill. As you move around the microphone, you won't find any kind of switches. It is just a plain XLR microphone, and on the bottom you'll find the XLR port. Then as far as the specs, this microphone has a cardioid polar pattern, a frequency response of 20 Hz to 18 kHz, a sensitivity of around -31 decibels, a max SPL of 130 dB, a self-noise of 13 dBA, and an impedance of 140 ohms. Now I am spinning around the Stellar X2 to 90 degrees to show you what the off-axis rejection and coloration is. We'll continue around the microphone to 180 degrees, show you what it sounds like from the rear, continuing around the microphone to the second 90-degree angle, and then we will rotate and end at the front of the microphone. Now let's go ahead and test the plosive rejection of the Stellar X2. Please bring pizza pronto. Please bring pizza pronto. Please bring pizza pronto. Now let's go ahead and see how much the provided foam windscreen affects the tone of the microphone. Right now, I am speaking about 3 inches off of the microphone with no foam windscreen on it. And now I'm at the exact same distance with the exact same gain setting, but I have installed the provided foam windscreen, and here is how the audio sounds. Now I am right on top of the Stellar X2 to show you the proximity effect on this thing. 3 inches off of the microphone with it pointed at the corner of my mouth, and here is how it sounds. 1 foot away from the microphone, 2 feet away from the microphone, and about 4 feet away from the microphone. Now I am typing on a keyboard with Cherry MX Blues to see how much of my voice versus how much of the keyboard it picks up. And for you sad boy gamers, now I am typing on the Elite W keys. Now to see how well the provided shock mount works, I am bumping on the desk to see how much of that noise it rejects. And then I will bump the boom arm to see how much of that it can reject. Here is how the Stellar X2 sounds in a well-treated room. And now I'm speaking into the microphone in a completely untreated room, and here is how the audio sounds. Now I am going to do a comparison between the Stellar X2 and a lot of other microphones. Because this microphone has so much hype around it, I want to see how it compares to its competition. Right now I am speaking into the Stellar X2, 3 inches off of the microphone, and here is how the audio is sounding. Now I am 3 inches off of the $20 or $30 Neewer NW700 with the exact same gain settings, and here is how the audio sounds. To make the comparisons a little bit easier, I'm switching back to the Stellar X2 now, and I am still 3 inches off of the microphone, and here is how it sounds. Next, I am on the Audio Technica AT2020, which is a $100 XLR condenser microphone, 3 inches off with the exact same gain setting, but I will have to boost this a lot more, so check the doobly-doo. and this is how the audio sounds. Wow, we're back on the Stellar X2 again, so you can hear how it sounds before we jump to this next microphone to hear how it compares to this next microphone. And here we are on one of my favorite microphones, the Rode NT1. We're 3 inches off of the microphone with the exact same gain setting. Check the doobly-doo for how much I boost it, and this is how the audio compares to the Stellar X2. Surprise, surprise, I am back on the Stellar X2, 3 inches off of the microphone, and here is how the audio sounds so you can compare it to this next microphone. Next up in the comparison, I wanted to include another one of these modded NW700 body microphones. So this is the Roswell Mini K47, which if I remember correctly is around $300. I am at the exact same distance with the exact same gain setting, and here is how the microphone compares to the Stellar X2. And again, we are on the Stellar X2 to cleanse your palate and make comparing the microphones a bit easier. I am 3 inches off of the microphone, and here is how it sounds. Now I am speaking into the Neumann TLM102, which is a $700 XLR condenser microphone. I am at the 3-inch distance, exact same gain setting, check the doobly-doo, and this is how the audio compares to the Stellar X2. Who would have thunk it? We are back on the Stellar X2, 3 inches off of the microphone, and this is how it sounds. Compare it to whatever's next. Do that now. It really is starting to get expensive here. Now I am speaking into the Neumann TLM103, about 3 inches off of the mic. This is an $1,100 XLR condenser microphone, and TechZone Audio Products says that the Stellar X2 is in between a TLM103 and a U87. So here is what the TLM103 sounds like compared to the Stellar X2. Oh good, we are back on the Stellar X2 to cleanse your palate and let you hear what this sounds like before we jump to this next microphone right here. Remember to breathe when you are speaking. And now I'm officially bankrupt because it is super expensive, and now I am speaking into the Neumann U87Ai on the cardioid mode, 3 inches off of the microphone with the exact same gain setting, and here is how the audio compares to the Stellar X2, which is supposed to be in between a TLM103 and a U87. Is the hype really real? Is it as good as you think? Could it be a U87? Or does it just f***ing stink? Yeah, skater dude, skate on, bro! I don't know what I'm doing. But is it a U87? Let me know in the comments down below! Alright, so is this a decent sounding microphone? Yes. But is it even close to a TLM103 or U87? No. And first up, in terms of pros, the microphone has an extremely healthy output level at -31 decibels, and the shock mount did incredibly well at rejecting bumps of the desk and bumps of the boom arm. But then in terms of cons, the upper frequencies of this microphone seem to be a little bit sharp and a little bit sibilant, and the microphone just didn't do a very good job with plosive rejection. So what are my overall thoughts of this microphone? On the electric guitar, I think it is pretty usable. It does seem to capture some frequencies below 100 Hz and get a little bit boomy, so you will 100% need to add a high-pass filter to the recording, and the upper frequencies got a little bit sharp and piercing when we got to the upper register of the guitar. Then on the acoustic guitar, it sounds very, very bright to my ears, and it captures all the attack of the guitar strings, but in the lower frequencies, it seems to be lacking a little bit of body, which leads to it sounding a little bit thin. Then for singing, I liked it for that application. It has an open and crisp sound to it, and it's also not overly bassy, so it's not going to clash with the other instruments in the mix. And lastly, for spoken word, I think it is very top-heavy and sharp-sounding and also a little bit sibilant, and if you have a higher-pitched voice like mine, it is not going to do you any favors in the lower frequencies. So would I recommend the Stellar X2? It is a soft maybe from me, and I will explain because I know a lot of people are going to be ticked off with me for that. To put it bluntly, of all of the microphones that I compared this thing to, the one that it sounded the most similar to my ears was the Audio Technica AT2020. It does have a slightly more pleasing low end, and the upper frequencies are ever so slightly smoother, but of all the microphones, it sounds the most similar to the AT2020 to my ears. According to TechZone and a lot of reviews that I have seen online, it is compared to the U87 and the TLM103, and I just don't hear it. The upper frequencies on the Stellar X2 are just much more sibilant, much more overboosted, and much more sharp to listen to. Now let me be clear, I don't think that a $200 microphone should sound anywhere near as good as an $1,100 or a $3,600 microphone. But based on the number of people that I have seen raving about this online saying, "Oh my god, it's just like a U87, it's just like a TLM103, I just feel the obligation to point that out, that I don't think it's anywhere near as good as a TLM103 or U87. I think it is much closer to an Audio Technica AT2020. Now, with all of that being said, why am I kind of recommending this microphone? Because it does sound somewhat similar to the AT2020, but it does have some improvements over the tone in the lower frequencies and in the upper frequencies. If you like the sound of that and you are looking for a $200 microphone, then I would recommend it. But on the other hand, if you listen to the AT2020 to the Stellar X2 and you heard no difference whatsoever, just get the AT2020 and save yourself $100. Alright, that is going to wrap up for today. So if you found this video fun, interesting, or helpful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, give me a big old thumbs down. If you want more videos, go ahead and subscribe by clicking that logo down beneath me. But before I sign off, for all the people who are still watching, you may want to head over to podcastage.com/giveaways because you can enter to win some free stuff. Now, if you want to support the channel and become one of these amazing people, I love them so much, you can do so by clicking that join button and joining at the $5 tier or higher. It really does help me continue to bring you these videos. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.